All right, my name is Ben Chow, and my insect is the Exodus scapularis, or the deer tick.
My name is Drew Dennis, and my insect is the Amblyoma americanum. Yeah, we're not very good with the pronunciations, but today we're going to be discussing and debating which of our species has a more difficult time controlling and mitigating in its environments.
Okay, first of all, the deer tick. Both these insects are very similar in that they're essentially from all the way to the same class, same order, same family. And so their genus is kind of what makes them different. The deer tick has a normal development. It goes from egg to larva to nymph and adult. And actually, to get to the adult stage, it actually has to have a blood meal to actually get there, which requires 4 to 5 days of feeding, and then it can finally vault around and get ready for overwintering and getting ready to lay eggs next spring. They tend to attack animals and humans in general, but they can also attack rodents, and obviously their main feeding animal is the deer. Some animals, one way you can distinguish between the male and the female is that the female has a larger abdomen to hold blood. Additionally, they can also transmit a lot of diseases such as Lyme disease, babesiosis, and anaplasmosis during the adult and nymph stage.
Well, like he said, the taxonomy of both of our insects is very similar, and so my insect, the Lone Star tick, like he said, it goes down to the genus, where obviously they're differentiated. The Lone Star tick also has normal development. It goes from egg to larva to nymph to adult, and it goes through a three-host tick. It is considered a three-host tick, and so it feeds from a different host during the larval, nymphal, and adult stages. Females require around 7 to 10 days normally to feed from different hosts during the larval, nymphal, and adult stages, obviously. And females require 7 to 10 days, and they can lay up to 3,000 eggs in those days during reproduction. They're mostly found in the southeastern and south central states and woodlands areas with dense undergrowth around animal resting areas. They use questing to prey, so normally they hunt dogs, coyotes, deer, cattle, and obviously humans as well. Females have a distinctive white dot under the center of their brown body, and males have spots or streaks of white around the outer edge of the body. So that's the way that we distinguish the genders for the Lone Star tick, and they also can cause serious illnesses to humans, including sometimes even Lyme disease, very serious diseases. So.
All right. So going off our topic, I believe that deer tick is more a threat to people in general. They have more difficult time surviving in the environment because they have to live in the harsh cold weathers of the north, and they only have limited time to actually successfully feed, mate, and then give birth to the eggs. Additionally, when the sparseness of the animals in the months leading up to the cold winters is usually when they're the most active, which usually leads to them having a hard time finding something to feed off of. Additionally, the deer ticks can attack both humans and small rodents, which leads to easier spread of disease either directly to the humans or from the rodents to the humans, and also managing their population due to how the number of sizes and number of area they are in is very hard to manage.
Well, while the deer tick is obviously a fierce predator in the northern parts of the United States, the Lone Star tick has the advantage over the deer tick in controlling and mitigating through the environment that it lives and thrives in, and it obviously thrives in, like I said, environments in the southern United States, and combined that environment with its aggressive nature and its tendencies to travel relatively long distances to find a host, and its tendencies to latch onto a host and the host carry it, long distances, gives it the ability to spread very easily in an environment that it thrives in. And furthermore, the species is, like I said, spread around habitat through its hosts, them, traveling around undetected on the humans or dogs or animals that they're feeding off. Yeah. And then we also talk about we can also talk about the reproduction and the difficulty in controlling and mitigating these Lone Star ticks. Like I said, female Lone Star ticks can lay up to as much as 3,000 eggs in its reproductive state, and they do die after their reproductive state, but it only takes about a week or so to complete this. So, you put that all together, it's about 500 eggs this insect can lay per day, and so that alone can be hard in controlling of the tick population. And the other really distinguishing feature about the Lone Star tick is that hosts are often unable to detect the Lone Star tick when it's attached to it. And so as soon as the tick is finished feeding as a larva, it drops to the ground, and the seed tick, as the larva is often called in the case of the Lone Star tick, is extremely, like I said, hard to detect, and when it drops to the ground, it will emerge as a nymph from its larval state. And it continues to do this all the way until it's an adult. And so the inability to detect and the rapid rate of reproduction definitely add on to the difficulty in controlling and mitigating the species.
I also believe that another reason why, as reproduction-wise for the deer tick, is that it's really easy for them to easily get to the opportunity where they just lay eggs. Only the female needs to feed, so then the male doesn't actually have to go out to look for food or anything, which makes it easier in that situation, because the male only just has to wait for the female to get to the host, and then it easily goes off from there. They also can lay as many eggs, such as from 1,500 to 2,000 eggs, so it's also a lot, but probably not as much as the Lone Star. They can also go as unnoticeable as the Lone Star ticks, because they have a tendency to have to feed for 4 to 5 days long on one host, which means that during that time they had to just camouflage or whatever, hide themselves and offend the animal. Also, additionally, for that they also, due to all that situation, they can easily transmit a lot of diseases during those situations. And due to reproduction, one thing that they have issues with that leads to the easy spread of disease is proliferation of spirocate, which actually is kind of an issue on the genes that actually makes it easier for the passing of Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm. So, in closing, whether we agree or disagree on which species is harder to mitigate in its natural environment, the Lone Star tick is undoubtedly one of the most dangerous ticks in existence as a result of its ability to produce at rapid rates, its ability to go undetected through maturation by its victims, and its overall difficulty to control. The tick thrives in a myriad of different environments and is often carried by hosts to different environments as a result of being undetected, and females reproducing nearly 500 eggs per day during their reproductive state. Its aggressive nature and its ability to, and its willingness to travel long distances to find a good host makes the tick a very tough target to control and mitigate.
For me, the deer tick is very annoying to deal with. It's also because that can also withstand many different weathers and has the ability to transmit so many different diseases. Being in the south and the north, and even in the east coast, it's a various amount of weathers, and its need to feed in a very difficult situation makes it very harder to control. Even if it's along with that, even the large amount of areas that it can be in means that it also has more chances to actually spread the diseases that it has. Additionally, that just because only one of them needs to feed, the rate of survival is a lot higher, and that they can actually pass on their genes and all of these diseases onto their offspring and actually just keep everything going.
Thanks for watching.